Arr, I be the movie geek, and not doing that. Hello, I'm the Movie Geek, and today I'm going to be talking Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Men Tell No Tales, or if you're in the UK, Salazar's Revenge. The story follows Captain Jack as he is trying to find Poseidon's trident. Trying to find it because it is said that the trident can break any curse of the sea. Javier Bardem is Captain Salazar, who Jack wronged in the past, and he is looking for revenge. Hence the crappy UK title, Salazar's Revenge. It's a standard pirates film where you get Jack doing one thing, you have Barbossa doing another. You've got the villain as Salazar, he's trying to find Jack, he's killing everyone in his way. Barbossa strikes an accord with Salazar to find Jack, and then everything, it sort of comes together in the end, as it always does. It is a straightforward pirates film. It's very similar to On Stranger Tides, where it doesn't bring anything new. It's directed by two different people than the last four films, and other than a couple of good set pieces and some nice visuals, there isn't much brought that is new to the film, to the series of films, to be fair. If you watch my last four videos, which were going through the pirates films, you'll notice a trend that they seem to get worse with every following one. At World's End being my worst, or my least liked. On Stranger Tides, I think, is universally disliked by most people, but I see it as a sort of going back to basics film. Where this one, Dead Men Tell No Tales, is, again, it's it's going back to basics. It's going back to that original feel that the Curse of the Black Pearl had. You've got a cursed crew on a ship. This time they're, I think, the privateers or people in the Spanish Navy. So you have, it's a similar sort of story, but I do feel like it works, and some of the set pieces work. Not too much that the first one, it was a little bit fast and furious for my life. One of the things I didn't think worked for the film was the humour. It seemed a little bit try hard. Jokes wouldn't seem to land. Yeah, there was an ongoing joke with the main female character who everyone sees as a witch because she's clever. She can do maths and stuff, and it didn't seem to gel. It was okay the first time, but then it just carried on, and then the next group of people who met her would be like, oh, a witch is a witch. But it seemed a little bit odd. And also, for the audience that it's going for, I felt that some of the jokes were a little bit I laughed, and my son was with me, and he was like, what's so funny about that? I was like, tell you when you're older. It just felt a little bit of a stretch. But then I suppose that sort of humour has been going through pirates films from the beginning, with all the women slapping Jack. We know what their job is, and I suppose this is what that joke is. It's just a continuation of that joke, but then again it feels tired. It feels a little bit well worn, like the franchise. Saying that, it wasn't too bad. It was a back to basics film. It was very similar to Curse of the Black Pearl, and if you've watched some of my other videos, especially at World's End, you'll find that one of the things that I didn't like about it was the way that film ended. It didn't seem to have a conventional happy ending. Everyone lived, as I mentioned, but no one was in a position where they were content or where they were happy. You had the carryover. Jack was left with nothing except for a bit of a map, which then led on to On Stranger Tides. Elizabeth was left pregnant on land, while Will was the captain of the Flying Dutchman, could only step on land once every 10 years. So there was no happy ending. It seemed like this film was being made to kind of rectify that ending. It kind of went out of its way to set everything right from what went wrong back at World's End. So for me, watching it, I was like, yeah, that's good. I'm happy with that. But again, it came across a little bit too worn. Johnny Depp needs to retire this character. If Disney, and they probably are, going to go forward with more sequels, I think they need to drop Johnny Depp, because he doesn't bring anything new. And this time, I mentioned in my other videos how he escapes different traps or escapes in crazy ways. In this one, I don't think we get any of that. Everything that he does in this film is completely accidental. There's a guillotine scene which he's got nothing to do with, and he escapes because of someone else's action. On Stranger Tides, he meticulously plans out one of his escape plans, and you can see him doing that, and I didn't like that, but you can see him planning everything, every intricate little detail. In this, he has nothing. In fact, he's so different to how his character is portrayed in the other ones that it doesn't work. He's done it so long that he was just half-arsing it, to be honest. But there were scenes where it was good and the humour was there. With the pacing, it didn't seem to work. That they were trying to get this trident. They were trying to get to their destination, but there didn't seem to be any rush. So it was a little bit odd. And also, everything seemed to be very, very convenient. There's a moment where one of the characters meets Salazar, and Salazar and his crew are locked up in the Devil's Triangle, and the way they get released from that is by something that Jack does, and it just seems to be a little bit of a stretch that it happens exactly at that moment. So I'll get into spoilers, if that's okay with you. They brought back Orlando Bloom as Will Turner, and his son Henry is trying to find the trident to break the curse of Will being stuck on the Flying Dutchman. Now, this bothered me slightly, because if he was to break the curse, Will was dead when he stabbed the heart, and it was a way of keeping him alive at the end of Will's End. So breaking the curse would mean that he would die. Also, by breaking the curse means that he can come back to land, which means he's free of the curse and he doesn't have to be the captain of the Dutchman. So does that mean that no one is captain now? Is anyone ferrying the dead? Because wasn't that the whole point of Davy Jones's story arc? So who's doing it now? But other than that, I got my happy ending that I wanted. So Will ends up going back to Elizabeth. So that is nice, and I'm glad that I got to see that, but it's a little bit late. It should have happened at the end of At World's End. So I don't know where they're going to go from here. There is obviously I'm in spoilers, so there is the whole Geoffrey Rush's Barbossa twist, which came from nowhere, but was slightly obvious when it happened. Barbossa's story is probably the best in the whole film. It comes from nowhere. You see him as a pirate, as a successful pirate. He is probably the best pirate there is. Compared to Jack anyway. He's an awful pirate. But yeah, his arc ends, and then everyone else has their happy ending. Which is good, but I just hope that means that they're going to finish the Pirates franchise now, because there is nothing you can do unless you just completely reboot it. Get something new in, but I don't think it would work anymore. I think back in 2003 it was so new and it was so fresh, and Johnny Depp brought everything to the role. You can't have it. The CGI in this was good, it was very good, but it was nothing we've not seen before. We've seen undead pirates, we've seen undead ship's crew, and okay, it's slightly different. It's not bones, it's not zombies, it's not mutated fish creatures, it's drowned people. It's a nice effect, but it's nothing new. And with Disney, they seem to be really enjoying their de-aging CGI at the moment with their Marvel films and their Star Wars films, and now this. But at points it looks good, then he starts talking and it doesn't look very good, and then that whole scene just looked awkward, didn't look that good. And I still don't think we're at the point where the facial de-aging CGI is that good. I didn't like Grand Moff Tarkin in Rogue One. I thought it looked horrible. Peter Cushing is dead, so you've got to use a different actor, but even this, they're using Johnny Depp and mapping his face and making it look younger. It still looked off. So there were a few problems with this film, but overall it's a good action film. It's a little bit more refreshing to be back in the world. I've watched the last 4 films before watching this, and I do think it is better than Dead Man's Chest and At World's End. I would probably say it's my second favourite Pirates film, just because it's a standalone story. Again, I think the Dead Man's Chest and At World's End just was so bloated and full of rubbish that it just turned me off it. Stranger Tides it's a poor film, but it works because it's just one film. You don't have to remember anything going in, you don't have to remember anything coming out of the film. Same with this. Everyone is at a position where they're happy that everything can start afresh. There's nothing, in fact, this is the only one where there is no carryover. So at the end of it, at World's End, you have Jack and he's got the map and he's looking at the Fountain of Youth. At the end of Stranger Tides, he has the Black Pearl in a bottle. There is nothing now that can be carried over. Jack has the Black Pearl and he's got the sea in front of him. That's it. Will's back with Elizabeth and that's it. Henry and Karina are obviously going to get together, but that's it. There's nothing that can be transferred into another film, which I think is good, because I think they need to just let it go now. They need to finish this. Don't do any more, please. Overall, if I'm going to do a rating, I'd probably say the film was probably a B or a 4 out of 5. I don't know, I'm going to have to sort out ratings. Maybe. We'll see. In fact, I'll think it up tonight and then my next review, which will probably be Wonder Woman, will have a rating. So say for now this is B, or a 4 out of 5. Okay? Anyway, I've been a Movie Geek. If you enjoy my video, please subscribe to my channel and tell me what you think. And I'll get back to you. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.